Hello everyone and a warm welcome. This is Inspire Africa with me, Jerry Fisaya Bambi. Coming up on this episode, we hear from the university graduates in Rwanda recycling plastic bottles into bricks and pavers for construction. Then the story of the Congolese group supplying electricity to parts of Goma with a solar plant. Plus, a little later, we meet with Neema Magimba, the Tanzanian woman using her legal expertise for the greater good through her digital platform. This is Inspire Africa. We start off in Rwanda, where Awoke Ogbo and his friends are recycling plastic bottles into bricks and pavers. Called Operation 414, the social enterprise is helping to create roads and pathways that are eco-friendlier and more affordable for the Rwandan community. Let's take a look.
These are bricks and pavers at the Africa Leadership University, also known as ELU, Kigali, Rwanda. But these are not the regular types. A group of university graduates recycle plastic bottles as part of the process to form these bricks and pavers. Their works are already in use for different infrastructural projects at the university. The initiative was founded by Awoke Ogbo in 2018 under a program known as Operation 414.
I was having a conversation with Awoki, asking him what was the inspiration behind Operation 414. And then he reminded me of our old days when we were staying at the student residence and the road was a tarmac road, so it needed to be constructed. We tried to think of the fastest possible way by which we can fix that road.
We're working on something that's environmentally productive by recycling and taking trash off the streets while creating construction materials for the city. We're setting up a retail wing where you can begin purchasing these products.
The founder of the 414 project hailed Rwanda for funding the initial phases of their project and giving them a starting point. Today, the operation manager explains the production process of the bricks.
We bought a pot, and then we bought a gas, and then we bought the plastics, and then we got sand. So then we melted the plastics, and then we combined the melted plastic with oil, and then we gave it some sand, and then we stir it for some time. And after stirring for some time, then we get like a specific mixture that we wanted, and then we put them into the different shapes and sizes that we want to get at the end of the day.
That breaks of the sand and plastic is a very, 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 very nice because it's strong and it's a very, very clean.
In 2019, Rwanda passed a law prohibiting the use of single-use plastic items, but they still somehow remain in use. The 414 project has made it priority to address this and provide more eco-friendly alternatives in construction.
And now to the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, where a Congolese man and his team in Goma are being applauded for their work in meeting a pressing need for electricity. Here's the story of a mini hybrid solar power plant, the first in the Central African nation.
This is the largest off-grid solar hybrid generation facility in Central Africa. Nearly 4,000 solar panels installed in this mini solar power plant capture solar radiation and transform it into electrical energy through converters, which supplies 3 districts of the city of Goma in eastern DRC. The initiative is of Nurusal, a company managed by these young Congolese whose goal is to improve the population's access to electricity.
We have here a solar power plant composed by 3,888 solar panels which receive solar energy and radiation and transforms it into electric energy. Our solar panels here receive the solar radiation and transform it into direct current energy, which will pass through converters to change it into an alternating current usable by our consumers.
The company says they're able to provide 24-hour stable power supply to customers, even in the rainy season, thanks to its storage. In this small hairdressing salon in the Indocious district, Watibe and his colleagues use it and pay 3 times less than they did when they were still connected to the Congolese electricity company, SNEL.
Appreciation to Nuru Power. I can now use appliances that I couldn't use before. My business is now growing. Today, I am moving higher.
Mubagwa Bimpe and his family power their house with electricity from this solar company.
My children used to move around everywhere. They used to go and watch TV at neighbors' houses, but now they are at our house. They don't leave anymore because they can now follow their movies at our house without any problem.
Nuru, which currently has a capacity of 1.3 megawatts, says it plans to build a second site of 3.7 megawatts so as to reach 5 megawatts of installed power and extend its reach throughout eastern DRC.
If you're just joining us, you are watching Inspire Africa with me, Jerry Fisaya Bambi. Now, knowing the law is the basic right and responsibility of every citizen. However, accessing legal education and services is a challenge for a lot of people in Tanzania. So one woman decided to do something to address this. Neema Magimba, co-founder of Sheria Kiganjani, a platform that provides readily accessible and affordable legal services, now joins me from Dar es Salaam. Neema, thank you very much for joining us. What motivated you to start this? What is the story behind it?
Sheria Kiganjani has 6 co-founders, first and foremost. So personally for me, from early on, from when I was very young, I knew that I wanted to become a lawyer and help people. Fast forward to many years later, I got this amazing opportunity to intern with an organization that was providing legal aid services in rural Tanzania. One day during one of these visits, there was this one girl that caught all our attention. Her name was Saida. We learned that Saida was a young woman at the time, but was initially a young girl who was forced into an early marriage at a very, very young age. She was 13 at the time when she was forced to get married by her parents and endured an 8-year abusive marriage with an older man until the man passed away. So her and her 2 children were left without nothing. And from her story and from the stories of the numerous people that we were serving through that organization that I was interning with, there were 2 things that came to my mind or that I realized at the time. One was that there were so many injustices that were happening to people simply because they did not know what their rights were. They were not aware of their rights. But also there were people that were aware of their rights. They knew that there's something that has to be done in this situation, but they could not reach a lawyer. The lawyer was very far from where they lived, but also they could not afford a lawyer, even if they could reach a lawyer.
Interesting story. Interesting. But here's the thing. In the traditional sense, many Africans, particularly in rural communities, do not see the need to approach the courts. How appealing is the service that you are providing?
Apart from connecting our users to lawyers who are in towns, we also connect our users to community village leaders who can help them. We connect them to social workers who can help them resolve their disputes. Actually, 80% of the cases we resolved last year, 2021, were resolved through alternative dispute resolutions as opposed to going to court.
In terms of impact, I want to know the numbers. What has been your achievement?
Since we started, Sheria Kiganjani has been able to serve 40,000 Tanzanians overall. We receive and resolve 700 legal inquiries in a month, and we resolve an average of 30 cases in a month. So this would be cases, both court cases and alternative dispute resolution method kind of cases.
How effective is the rule of law in Tanzania, particularly after your interventions?
I would say they're relatively effective. End of the day, the duty to follow up on this would be on the one who won the judgment. So let's say the woman, let's say Saida, she's won a judgment that the relatives have to return back land that they initially took from her. She has a judgment, she can enforce the judgment, she can ask the court to enforce the judgment, and that's where we come in. That's where we and other lawyers assist people in being able to enforce whatever decisions that the courts have given. The police also help us in cases where need be that you need to use other forms to be able to enforce this the judgment. So nobody's above the law. End of the day, the judgment or the decision that was made with the court will be enforced.
Neema, I'd like to thank you very much for speaking with us and sharing insights about the fantastic work that you are doing.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
And this is where we draw the curtain on this episode of Inspire Africa. You can see it again by going to africanews.com/programs/Inspire Africa. Do not forget to also follow us on our social media pages. I am Jerry Fisaya Bambi, and I am leaving you with one of the pictures that caught our attention on social media. I'll see you some other time. Thank you.
A message from Choir Africa, the South African musical group Glovo Youth Choir. It says, heal the world.
Bengo